So here we are. We're going to start making the hat now. You should have got this far from the ribbed granny square tutorial, and so we're at the end and we've slip stitched into this corner space. Okay, so now what we want to do is chain 3, and then we're going to put a treble into every stitch across, and that should be 23 stitches. That's a double in the US. So we've got 1 treble in the corner and then 1 in every stitch across. Whoops. We're not ribbing anymore. We're just going plain treble crochets, doubles in the US, into every stitch across for 23. And then when we get to the corner, we're just going to put 1 treble into the corner and then go round, and that'll start to bring our square down into sort of a top of a hat shape. It's a really nice hat pattern, this. It's a really nice granny square pattern as well. So I don't think you have to make a hat using it. You can use the granny square to make all sorts of things. And so once you've popped 1 in every stitch across for 23, then you just stick 1 in the corner space and then put 23 across the other side and 1 in the corner space, 23 across the other side, 1 in the corner space, 23 across the other side, and then you join with the slip stitch into the 3rd chain of your original chain 3, which is in that corner. So I'm going to join you round at the end of this round, so just carry on putting a treble, a double in US terms, into every stitch across, 1 into each corner, and I'll see you at the end. And you should have, at the end of that, you should have 96 stitches. You'll have the 4 23s, which is 92, and then the 4 corners, which makes it 96. Okay, because now your stitch count gets more sort of important, because you're going to start crocheting in the round, really, which is unusual to go from a granny square to in the round, but that's why this pattern's so cool, one of the reasons. So I'll let you carry on with that, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. And so I'm sorry about this really bright, and well, I'm not sorry about it because it's really lovely. So I'm round at the end here, so I'm just going to join. This is the last of our stitches because this was the corner stitch, if you remember. We're not doing the corner stitch, that's the last of our stitches, and I'm going to go into the 3rd of those, which is up there. Pop my needle in and pull through for a slip stitch, and then you'll see that it's starting to sort of fold up and all the corners are starting to appear. So remember, this is your right side, that's your wrong side. Just want to check. Yeah. Right, so what you do next is you chain 3 after you've joined into the top of that chain 3, and we miss the stitch at the base of the chain, which is this one, so we don't sew into there, and we pop a treble into every treble again around. So You're just missing the one at the beginning. So literally we're just doing another round of trebles all the way around. So we're not doing a corner anymore. We've lost our corners. We're going into the round, okay? So you just want to stitch all the way around, one in every stitch. And that'll start taking us down into the hat. And then it is really super straightforward, because then all we do is we do that, we go around one more time, and then we repeat this 11 times. So we just, for an adult hat, so we just, my tension was all wrong there, so we just do one stitch around for 12 rounds in total. So if you want to do that and then meet me back after you've done your 12 rounds, and I'll show you how to do the ribbon on the end, because we have the ribbon on the top, but then we also have ribbon around the brim of the hat as well. Because this hat, you'll think, gosh, this is a bit baggy, because your hat will feel a bit baggy. It'll be quite loose hat. But what we do is we do a reduction round, which sort of pulls it back in together again, but it leaves it quite slouchy. So you have that kind of baggy slouchy effect. It's really useful if you just want to have a baggy slouchy effect, but it's also really useful if you've got your hair, if you've got your hair tied up or in a pony or a bun or something, or if you just want to shove your hair in the hat out of the way. Maybe if you've got mediocre dreadlocks, and you could make it much bigger if you wanted to house more hair or more dreadlocks, but definitely is nice and spacious in there. And then, oops, did you see that I totally slipped out there? And then it sort of draws in together at the bottom again with the reduction round, and then we do the ribbon, which is front and back posts. So I'll show the difference between front post and a back post. We've been doing front posts to create the ribbon on the top, and then we'll do back posts as well, which will create an even more dramatic effect. So yeah, so keep doing this for 12 rounds. So you might want to just mark your beginning and end. It's not too difficult to count, because you know it's where your corners kind of finish. That was your first round, so it's easy to sort of count down 11 rounds. And you also do know that you're going to finish and start each round in a corner, so it's not that difficult to keep a track of without a stitch marker, but you may as well just whack one in and use one to help you. Okay, so just keep going round then finish this round, and then 11 more the same. Really straightforward. And then when you've done those 11, come back and we'll finish off the hat. Because I'm doing the challenge, I am actually going to make another one. So this one is going to go into the challenge pile. So yeah, keep going. There you can see we started. So there's quite a lot of stitching to do, but it's very straightforward. So you know, you can sit and do it while you're watching TV or while you're travelling or whatever. And it's a really lovely pattern. Okay, so I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Right, So I've almost ended my 11 rows of treble crochet. I'm switching to a smaller hook, to a 3.5, and for the brim I'm going to do it in white so you can see it easy what I'm doing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join my white, so I'm going to yarn over, put my hook in and pull up a loop, and then I'm going to grab my white, leave a decent straggler, I'm going to hook it over my hook, I'm going to pull it through 2, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and I'm going to pull my green yarn tight, and I've already snipped it off. Let my straggler fall down, and what I do is I'll tie my straggler to my straggler from my green yarn, and that just keeps them even safer, and then I'll sew them in later. Okay, and I've changed to the smaller hook for the last stitch just to bring it down a little bit. Okay, get all my bits and bobs out of the way, get yourself all organised before you start, because there's loads of bits in the way here. Okay, that's my stitch marker and everything else. And now I'm just going to go into this stitch and I'm just going to do a slip stitch. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on following the pattern, if I can find it because the book's closed. So I'm going to chain 2, it's very simple, chain 2, I'm going to miss the stitch at the bottom of the stitch I'm in, which is this one, move my stitch marker, I'm going to take my stitch marker out because I just don't need it anymore. I've chained 2 and I'm going to go yarn over and I'm going to put my hook behind this post. I'm going to pull my yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm going to put my yarn over, I'm going to go in front of the next 2 posts, pull my yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I'm going to go behind the next post and do that treble or double in the US, and then I'm going to go in front of the next one, behind the next one, and in front of the next one. And I'm going to do this until I've got 6 sets of back and front. Okay, by going over the 2, what I'm doing is I'm decreasing the stitches around. Okay, so that was my first one, that was my decrease. Sorry about the light, it is just crazy. I've had to close the curtains because the sun is just glaring one minute and then it's disappearing the next, so I'm really sorry about that. So round the front, crocheting the 2 together, round the front, back, front, back, front, back, front. So we've got 1 set, 2, 3, that's the 4th set. 5th set, and the 6th set. See what I mean? The sun, you see, if every time the sun goes in I open the blinds again, I'd just never stop. I'd be up and down, and if I put the light on, all it's doing is it's casting shadows, so it's just a real nightmare. I'm really struggling with the light. So then what we want to do is go around the back, go around the post again, and then we want to do the 2 together again. So go over those 2, pull the yarn through, yarn over, and we've done another decrease there. And then we're going to do our front and back combo 7 times. So 1 round the front, 1 round the back, 1 round the front, 1 round the back. It's obviously, oh, actually I'm telling you the wrong way because this is going round the back and this is going round the front. So we're doing trebles, which are doubles in the US. So on the back, around the front. On the back. Across the front. The back. Across the front. Okay, getting a little bit tangled up here with the yarn, so I'm just going to sort that situation out before it ends up causing me hassle. And I'm just going to count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 more set because we want 7 sets this time. And the back. And round the front. And then we're going to repeat everything 2 more times. So yarn over, round the back of that stitch, yarn over, across the front of the next 2, to pull them together, and then we've got a repetition of front and back for 6. That's the 6th one, and the 6th one across the front. And then what we want to do next is go round, and then we want to do our 2 together. So across the next 2, bring those together, and then we want to do 7 sets of front and back. 1, now I'm going to do my 1 in front, and I'm going to do my 2 together again, okay? And then I'm going to do 6 more sets of front and back. So that was 6, so we're going to go behind, across the two for that reduction, for that decrease. And then we're going to do 7 sets of back and front. Right, so now then for the last round. Now like I said, this isn't the last round, but this is the last round of instruction. After this, it's just repeating this round again 3 times. So we want this round I'm about to do 4 times and then we're finished. So we chain 2 and we go yarn over and we go behind that post of that first stitch. And then we go behind across the front of that one. Okay, and then we go behind and in front, and we just keep on doing that all the way around. So we're just alternating, and just when you come to a 2 together, you just treat it as a normal single stitch. Okay, so wherever there's a stitch on the top, we're going behind it, and wherever there's a stitch recessed, we're going in front of it, and that means we're just going to carry on with that ribbon all the way around. So that's all we're doing. So when you get to the end, just join with a slip stitch to the first stitch of this round and then repeat that 3 rows. Okay, so you get a nice rim on your hat. So I'm going to leave you to do that because now you know exactly what you're doing. So here we are, I've finished that end chain. I've just got all my ends to sew in, but look at that lovely ribbing, not ribbon. I love it, I think it's beautiful. I think the whole hat is beautiful. It's just unusual and it's lovely. So that's that one. I just want to show you another one. Can you just bring me the blue one, Nana? The dark blue one. I just want to show you another one that I've made as well, because it's so easy to explain how to make it that I just thought I'd explain quickly how to make it, in case you're looking for an easy hat pattern. So this one, again, it needs all sewing in and finishing off. It needs a pom-pom on the end as well. But this hat is made using just 2 strands of DK. It's actually 2 different shades of navy. From 2 different batches. It's got some little lumps in it here, but that's just because on the other side I've got to sew through the joins. I made it using scrap yarns, but that's a really big, substantial, thick, warm hat, and like I say, I'm going to stick a pom-pom on the top, and I might put some trim around here, or I might put a button or something on it, or something, I don't know. But all this is a piece of half double crochet. That's all it is. So half treble crochet in UK terms, and all it is it's just a rectangle of half double crochets. So all I did was I get a ruler. All I did was I made a foundation chain until I was, what, 13 inches long. So I made a 13-inch long foundation chain, and then I just did half doubles backwards and forwards. I just, at the last stitch, I'd turn my work, chain 2 and start again, and that's all I did. And then I made a piece that's like a small blanket, and then what I did was I just joined it together using single crochets. I just put the 2 pieces, the front side to front side, and I just used single crochets to make a seam. And then when I got to the top, so then I had like a tube, when I got to the top I just worked around a row of single crochets which were into sort of the side pieces. And once I'd got a row of single crochets, then I went round and I just decreased literally by doing join 2 together, join 2 together, join 2 together, over and over and over. And I just kept going round and round and round until I got to the middle, and I pulled it all together. And then obviously you turn up the brim, and like I said, I'm going to stick a pom-pom on there, and that's a really, really easy hat. But it's a really substantial, thick hat, because like I said, it's in 2 strands of DK. The stitches are nice and close together. It's still breathable, but it's lovely and soft, but it's really chunky and lovely. And that brim can be pulled right up if it's, say, a lady's wearing it or something, or you want to wear it shorter, or it can be pulled right down over your ears, over your face, especially because it's been made for Ben's Beanies project. You know, if someone's sleeping at night, they can pull it right down over their face and their ears, and really keep themselves warm. So yeah, that's a really simple, easy hat to make, and I wouldn't even have to demonstrate that to you, because like I said, it's just literally a piece of half double crochets. So if you do have trouble making hats, you know, crocheting in the round or whatever, or following patterns like this, then do consider something like that, especially for a child, because obviously you'd make it much smaller for a child, and you wouldn't have to have so many rows, so you could get it done much quicker, and yeah, create a nice dense hat. I do need to sew all my ends in, but yeah. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next week for a project. I think next week's project is going to be slightly different. We're going to move away from hats, and we're going to make something Christmas themed and start thinking about Christmas projects. I'm not going to get onto Christmas projects and then never get off them again. I'm going to just pop a Christmas project in here and there. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.